Well, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It has been like a week-ish or so since I last posted. I'm trying really hard to like post things. I'm trying so hard, but I think about things throughout the week, and then it takes me so long to find any time to actually do it. And I am it's like 8 o'clock on Sunday, and I have a paper due and 2 discussion boards due at midnight. So we'll get it done. But I just love spending time with y'all and uploading videos for y'all. It's just so great, and I think about it throughout the week. And I made it a point this week when I had downtime to just really seek the Lord and pray for all y'all that are watching, because I don't want to lie and say that I'm praying for you if I'm not, but I actually am, especially ones that have contacted me and said where they are with their journey with God, and especially if a lot of other chaplains and candidates message me, or people that are military. Just know that you are being prayed for. And one thing that was so big for me was to hear that the struggle that the really hard week that I had about 2 weeks ago, it was phenomenal, and just so beautiful to hear that some of y'all were praying for me during that. And people were messaging me, and it's amazing because, you know, we don't know each other in person. One day we will, if we are all military chaplains. We will all we will all see each other one day, especially Air Force, because Air Force is so small. But just to know that I don't know, I just keep always saying we're all in this together. We're all doing this together. We are all a part of the body of Christ, those that are believers, and why not pray for each other even if we don't really know each other. So I just thought that was so amazing for me. But one thing that so I have 2 parts of this video, and I'm going to keep it short because the times, I'm so bad at them. But my first part is talking about the goodness of God, because that has been just bright, and the Lord has just been blaring it in my face, is what is my goodness. And then the second one is I'll get there. I don't really know how to say it without just saying it, so I don't know, I'll get there. But anyways, so just to give a little bit about myself, I don't sleep. I don't have time to sleep. So I work 8 to 5. I worked an 8 to 5 full-time job, where I do lots of fun things, but it takes up 8 to 5, so that's a lot of time during the day. I'm also a full-time seminary student. Woo! And I'm on my 2nd master's degree. Oh geez. And if you would have told me that, because I'm 27 now, goodness, because I had a birthday. Oh man. If you would have told me that at I'll be 28 when I graduate, that at 28 I would have 2 master's degrees, I'd be I was just shocked I graduated with my bachelor's degree. The fact that I'll have 2 master's degree at 28 is just, it's a lot. Don't do that to yourself. Go live your life. But I am a full-time seminary student that has been has ups and downs, I would say, with it. But I am online, so what my week usually looks like is on Mondays, I've been working on it, but I usually have Bible study. Ooh, I'm zooming. Ooh, oh, there we go. On Mondays, I usually go to Bible study, or I go and work out. But lately on Mondays, I've been having stuff for my endorsement I've had to do, so I can't do any of that. Or Mondays I just crash at home because I'm exhausted. But Mondays I usually do that at night, so after my 8 to 5 job. Tuesdays I am a part-time counselor, so my first master's degree was in counseling, so I am 1 year away from being an LPC. So that has been after 3 years of grad school, and then 3 years of postgraduate supervised counseling. I am 1 year away. I'm so so excited. So I do that on Tuesday and Thursday nights. Wednesday, I am heavily involved with my church, and I do worship arts ministry for them. And some Wednesdays, if I'm just in choir, I might skip it so I can come home and sleep. But like this Sunday, I, at the last minute, got asked to be on praise team. So that takes up a lot of my time. So what that looks like is on Wednesday nights, I go and practice, and I have to learn songs. And then on Sunday morning, so like this Sunday morning, I have to be there at 6:30 in the morning, and then I sing for 6 hours. 6 hours. It's a long time. But it's great. I love it. So that's my Wednesdays, and then Thursdays I am back at counseling for a couple hours. And then usually Fridays I just come home and sleep, or I go to Braves games because I love the Braves. I'm usually at a Braves game on a Friday. And then Saturday, it depends on the Saturday, but this Saturday I read my textbook on my kayak, which was nice. And last Saturday I was at drill. So once a month I go to drill. And then next Saturday I'll actually be doing a like a continuing education course for counseling. So I usually work on Saturdays, just depends. And then on Sundays I go to church and I lead worship sometimes. And then I go back to counseling for a couple of hours, and then I go back to church to lead the high school choir that's there. So anyways, with all of that, that is my normal week, and woo, I don't sleep. Oh, and then I totally forgot. So when I come home from all those billions of things that I'm doing, I have seminary homework that I have to do. And like, I am just hoping to graduate with a 3.0. Whew. I need like a couple more A's, but I have been doing very well the past like semester or so. But I just want a 3.0. It's just all I want in seminary, because I graduated with a 3.9 my first master's degree. So anyways, but I don't ever sleep. So that is my normal week. So when something happens and something comes into my life that is difficult for me emotionally, it really messes that up a lot, and it does add a lot more extra stress, because then I have to go back through and cancel clients, get off of work, tell my church that I can't come and help them out. So everything that happened 2 weeks ago was extremely difficult, just already in number one, but having to also take off a good amount of that week. So also during that chunk of that week, usually I have like finals and then like a week break, and then my second quarter starts. But during that week that I was in Arlington, I actually was in my finals, and then my other quarter had already started. So I was taking 3 classes during that week. So while I was at Arlington, that was things that I was concerned about. So which was nice, because then I got to like keep my mind kind of focused on I don't know, it kind of helped me with my mind, like what to think about, and knowing that the Lord saw something planned for me. But anyways, that was something that I was really struggling with also during that week, is the fact that I had to come back home and still have clients, and then also that I was in finals week while I was up in Arlington, and I also had 2 other classes that had just started. So that was a very stressful week for me, and it was really hard, because I emotionally was just like not there, and I was really struggling. But so one thing that I talked about on here that was truly my prayer the whole time was like, Lord, let me see your goodness. I actually got back. We had already planned to go to the Braves game with my dad, because it was Alabama night, and we're huge Alabama fans. But that was on that Friday, so I was like, number one, I have to emotionally like get my life back together, because I can't go out with my family and just be a wreck like I have been all week. But number 2, I had finals due that week. I had a sermon I had to write. Y'all, I was at this Braves game on my phone writing a sermon. that was due at midnight. Oh my goodness, like, I was sitting there and I was like, I'm sorry, like, this is what you get. And so I was sitting the whole time, and I'm sure people were just like, this girl is addicted to her phone. But I had papers out that I was like writing my sermon off of, because I had an outline, and I'm just like typing away at this sermon. And my family was like, are you really gonna do that? And I was like, yeah, I have finals due. So I wrote a sermon at the Braves game, which was pretty interesting. And I talked about that in my last video, what it was about, but about Paul being in prison. But yeah, I wrote that at the Braves game. And then so I'm like running off with no sleep at this point. And then the next morning, in the next 2 days, I had drill. And I had to come home and do homework. And that was just a lot. And then last week, just trying to catch up on sleep and trying to just catch up on anything that I possibly could, and homework. But through all of that, the Lord was so good. And just all last week, he was like, here's how I'm good, and here's how I'm good, and here's how I'm good. Because that was just like my just active prayer the past 2 weeks is, Lord, where is your goodness? Like, let me see your goodness, because I know it's there, but I know it's my eyes that are being covered up. So please just like take whatever is in front of me and take it off and let me see your goodness. And y'all, it has been phenomenal. Like, I got a B+ in the class that I was writing my sermon at the Braves game. In that class, y'all, like, I struggled in, because I started that while I was on tour in Utah, and the majority of that class was while I was in Utah, and every single paper I turned in late. And I was emailing the guy, I was like, I am so sorry, like, I am on tour, like, I don't have time for this. And I got a B+ in that class. I really think that he was just being really gracious towards me, because I was like, I'm in the Air Force, I'm sorry. And I usually don't use that excuse ever. And I hate that, but I was just like, I'm sorry, like, this is all I have. And then usually this has not been, sadly, in my time in seminary, I've had a good amount of people that I love pass, while I was in seminary, and most of their funerals or their passings actually happen on finals week. So that's always challenging, very challenging, but I never like to use that as an excuse. Like, I don't know, I don't ever like to tell my professors about that, because I never want to use somebody's death as an excuse. I did have to use it this past one, just because it was day of finals when I found out, and I physically could not do anything. But anyways, so I don't know what we're talking about, but the goodness of the Lord. So this class I got a B+ in. Woo! Like, I'm so amazed, like, so amazed. I got a 98 out of 100 on my sermon. I know it was not that good, because I didn't even complete it, because after the Braves game, we got stuck in Atlanta traffic for forever. So I was like, there's no way. There's just no way I'm writing this sermon correctly. And I think he was just being really gracious. So I got a B+ in that class. And then I was able to catch up on, I had 2 tests last weekend. So while I was at drill, I had 2 tests in my other class. I got a B on one and an A on the other. And what else was it? I feel like there's something else with seminary. I don't really know, but so that happened. And then also financially, going up to Arlington was, it did cost a pretty penny to get up there, but I've learned early on that with money, just to trust the Lord with it, and that's exactly what I did. And lo and behold, a couple of days after Arlington, in my bank account pops up like the same exact amount of money that I needed, that I used up in Arlington, just popped in my bank account. And it was like state taxes, like refunds, but it was just amazing. So I was like, where is this money? Like, how do I have this much money in my account? And I knew about how much it was, a couple hundred that it took for me to get up there. And I was like, how is this in my bank account right now? And it was just like perfect perfect planning, perfect timing, that state refund came in. And then also I got paid my extra money that when I did my tour, I got paid an extra couple hundred for that too. So all of that happened within the past 2 weeks. So it was just like, the past 2 weeks have just been really just a lot going on, and a lot of pressures and things that I needed to get done and emotionally handle and financially handle. And the Lord was just so good, and just, I mean, I actively was like doing things when I can. Like, I'm always trying to do homework when I can. I hardly ever take a break. But it was just so amazing just seeing the goodness of the Lord through all of that, especially with that financial piece of it popping in. Like, I knew the second half, I was like, this is the Lord coming and helping me. But also just the schooling and getting good grades, because that's huge for me, because how I perform now affects how the Air Force sees me later on. So that has just been so amazing. And so I want to encourage y'all, how has the Lord been good to you? Because he is being good. He is actively being good. But sometimes it's hard for us to open our eyes and actually see it, especially when we're struggling emotionally, or we are just like, there's just so much going on and we are so busy. How is the Lord actively being good in your life? Because he is. He totally is there doing it. But we just sometimes have to pray that our eyes and our ears and our heart and our emotions are open to it. So that's the first thing I have. And the second thing I have, I'm going to do it really quickly because this is already going. Look, the timer for it's like right here. So I can see. I need to like beep at me when it's like getting around 10 minutes. I think it's already past that. I don't know. But so the second thing I want to do is I am a associate counselor. So I'm working on my LPC. So I have about a year left. I know I already said that, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say it again. So I see about 10 clients a week. And that's on top of seminary and on top of my 40-hour-a-week job. Yeah, and I also do notes too, so that's fun. Anyways, but I am a secular counselor. I've never had a desire to be a Christian counselor because I felt like the Lord came and Christ came to heal the sick. And I'm kind of, there was somebody, I think it was Paul, where he talked about pretty much saying like, I don't need to speak to the Christians. They already have Christ. So why would I spend my time speaking to them? I can't remember who it was, but somebody in scripture was pretty much like, no, you already have Christ. I'm not going to waste my time on you. I'm going to go to the people that don't know Christ. But that's kind of my mentality with counseling is, you know, if you have Christ, that's the greatest and best tool that you can possibly have for anything that you do in life. But I only do Christian counseling if somebody comes into my office and they are like I promote it, but I'm still a secular counselor. But people can come into my office and be like, hey, I want to be I want to have Christian counseling. And I'm like, yes, this is amazing. Let's do it. But that's just setting up like my style of counseling. I'm very solution focused in my counseling. I'm like, okay, well, here's the goal. Let's get there. How do we get there? Let's go. But I'm just not the counselor to where we can just like, we're going to sit and talk about cushy feelings. I'm like, no, here's a goal. We need to do it. Let's get you out of here. Like the first day I'm like, here's my projected goal of you leaving because I don't want you to stay here. Like you coming to counseling is a burden for all of us. Well, I don't say it like that. I'm like, you coming is a burden for you financially and time. And I want you out of here. Like, you don't need to stay here. Anyways, so once we get you good, I want you out the door and living life in a healthy way. But it kind of hit me because I struggle a lot with feeling adequate to be a counselor, but I also struggle with, am I making a difference? Because I feel like in chaplaincy, I can see that a lot easier than I can see it in counseling. So it really hit me this past week that I might be somebody that has been prayed about. I might be like somebody that comes into my life, they may have prayed for help and I was the answer. And that just, it really just hit me to think about that. And I thought about it with chaplaincy and counseling, like the people that I, not even knowing it, you know, just coming and approaching these people, they may have prayed for help, and I may be God's solution to that. I may be, you know, just going off of what God's asked me to do and following where he leads me. I may be that person's answered prayer. And that just kind of hit me, and I was like, wow, that is so cool. Just, I don't know, something to think about. Like, are you ready to be somebody's answered prayer, just by your presence, or by the way that you pray for somebody, or just giving somebody a helping hand, or a thing of wisdom, or just letting somebody know, like, it's okay what you're experiencing and what you're feeling. It's fine. Like, you are a human and we all feel things, but let's look and see what God has to say about this also. So I don't know, just something to think about. I've been thinking about a lot this week, like, how can I even better be an answered prayer? Because I want to be available for when the Lord asks me to do that, and how can I do that the best? Because that does take it does take time on my part, building my relationship with the Lord to be the most adequate helper that it can be. But anyways, that's the end of this video because it's way too long. Thanks for coming by, and I hope to see y'all again soon. It all depends on how free I am, because this week I am not free. Woo, because I got asked at the last minute to sing, and I'm counseling, and I have school. So pray for me, and I'll be praying for you. Y'all are phenomenal, and I love, every time I say this, love getting to hear about y'all's life and your journey with the Lord. And some of y'all are like, I'm on this part in my chaplaincy, and that is amazing. And I really love I have a couple of wives of chaplains that follow me and talk to me, and y'all are also amazing. And I am just praying that I get to meet y'all one day, because we're all chaplains in the Air Force, and we will all see each other one day, which is awesome. But and thanks again for coming by. I was kind of a little silly today because I actually slept this weekend, so this is like my normal personality. Yeah, y'all stay safe, and let's all pray for each other. Please let me know how I need to pray for you, and if you could pray for me, that'd be phenomenal. If you have any questions about anything, or you would like me to answer your question on a video, please let me know. So y'all have a fantastic week, and I will also do the same. And if y'all could sleep extra naps for me, that would be awesome.
Everything will be